Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Fenny Nuraisya from 4BB class. Okay, I will review a journal article. The title is Elementary Social Studies Resource Scaffolding to Script Writing. The author is Ronald P. Morris, Ball State University, volume number 57, issue number 2, publication year 2021, page 20 till 32, or 12 pages. The first, there is abstract. This article examines one teacher's model for elementary school research, scaffolding, and script writing, and routed to student portrayals of notable Indiana figures. It includes step-by-step procedure, examines the experience of students and teachers, and provides useful teacher materials in the appendix. Next slide is introduction. Each year, the fourth grade students in Mrs. Carr class at Parks Elementary School learn to do research on important people from their state by writing script and producing first-person presentations. This year was the bicentennial of their state, so the teachers want to make their research something the student would remember. The students conduct research in their school and country libraries. The teacher knew students were capable of more than just copying out of a book and that they could research and present their findings. Next slide is listening to Let's Read to Create Grammar. When elementary students engage in social studies and drama, they need to work with raw content using primary sources. Students engage in library work to discern multiple perspectives. However, they need to use primary sources to help the students to understand power relations between the characters. Students learn content by conducting research to investigate the places and events of the past. Once they understand the past, they can empathize with the people. Students also work together to create a program which requires multiple opportunities for teamwork and leadership communication skills. The students take what they have learned about the past and construct scripts. In the past, multiple methodologies have been used to help students translate their feelings into social knowledge. While drama, games, cat imagery, pantomime, puppetry, and tables have been used with many elementary students. The students create script, first-person presentation to convey knowledge. And last, students look action in community and communicate information by sharing their research-based script with an audience. Next slide is creating new knowledge. Mrs. Carr, a fourth grade teacher, wants to introduce her students to important people and sites as indicated in her fourth grade social studies curriculum. Her first attempts were a parade of brochures in which her students dressed as their character they selected. Create a float on a wagon or a skateboard, talk for 1 or 2 minutes, and parade with the float to all of the other classrooms for the other students to see. Next slide is standards. Mrs. Carr decided to combine her language, art, research, and speaking standards with her social studies content and skill standards to create an authentic assessment of what the students knew and how they shared that information with the community. The first is determine the kinds of sources that will be helpful in answering compelling and supporting questions, taking into consideration the different opinions people have about how to answer the questions. Second, use information about a historical source, including the maker, date, place of origin, intended audience, and purpose to judge the extent to which the source is useful for studying a particular topic. And then identify evidence that draws information from multiple sources in response
to compelling questions. And the last, throw on disciplinary concepts to explain the challenges people have faced and opportunities they have created in addressing local, regional, and global problems at various times and places. The C3 curriculum endeavors to place students in inquiry experience by working with four domains. The first, raising questions. Second, connecting question to disciplinary learning. Examining source material. And the last, both sharing information and taking action in the community resulting from what the students learn. Carr started by giving the students a list of 40 famous features and historic sites. From there, the student created individualist research question. She gave the student a few descriptors about each person and at least one site where the students could visit to learn about the person. The students were required to prove that their character made a contribution that changed the world, but the students also had to document their claims. Mrs. Carr asked the students to do some investigation to select several different people they might wish to be and discuss the option with their parents. She asked the students and their parents to sign a contract she drafted in order to make sure that every student was able to research a person that they were interested in exploring and prevented multiple people from all researching the same person. Sometimes, students receive their fourth choice, but everyone got to research a person this person they request. The students practice their letter writing skills by composing a letter to a historic site that reflected the work of their famous figure. They practice addressing an envelope and determine how to sign their letter and correctly. The students talk with Mrs. Carr about what vocabulary they use in the letter to sound professional, how they check it for errors, how to ask the correct question, serious researchers, thank, thank them for their time and reminded the site of the deadline when the students needed a response. The student requested brochure from the site and a portrait of their famous figures. Next slide is assessment. The exhibit or evaluate the impact of their characters on society, description of their career, timeline, map to site, accuracy, portrait, map, and other visual with sources here. Mrs. Carr created the student note cards for social studies and the outlines and bibliography for English. Students took information from their note cards and created an oral reports with it. For the social studies oral report, card evaluate the accuracy, accomplishment, civic impact of the character and conclusions. The next slide is rubric. Mrs. Card create a rubric to communicate to our students how they would meet national standards and how their social studies work would be created. The rubric is the C3 curriculum and evaluate the use of sources to formulate questions, evaluation of sources, decision based on research conclusion, and the identification and solution of community problems. In next slide, there is pitfalls and perils. Mrs. Carr had a few more words of advice about getting students to research. Her comments were aimed at trying to help the students create a clear and reasoned narrative. She admonished, remind students to stick to the outline of topic and questions. Students read some interesting information, but if it doesn't fit the outline, they should not include it. The next slide is conclusion. Teachers have wrestled with how to provide scaffolding experience for elementary students as they conduct research in social studies projects. Idea about what scaffolding looks like, how it was accomplished, and the results of scaffolding vary considerably between authors, but they tend to coalesce around both the social space and human interaction where learning occurs. The students working in Mrs. Carr's class use her sectors to create their final products, but they also work together to present their work to multiple audiences in their community. As experts in their field, they both inform each other and learn from each other during the oral report and exhibit phase of the project. As they participate in a well-defined project, the students demonstrate their competencies for their fields and their community. The success was obvious as they had mastered both the acquisition of knowledge and the skill of collaboration to create a musical review. Okay, that's all my review about the journal article. Thank you.